Sir, voice?
Hello.
Okay.
Hi dear students. How are you? How is your preparation? Merry Christmas to all Christian friends and wishing you the upcoming Happy New Year. The year is changing. 2026 is about to enter and our exam is also about to come. Is your preparation to the maximum extent or not? Yes. So you need to concentrate fully on the examination, especially for the gate point of view. You have to fully focus on the exam. For gate point of view, we will talk about this 2026 score booster. So, boost is important for our health and for our upgrading of the score and marks in the examination. So, in gate exam, numerical answer type, multiple select questions are very crucial. Even though those are not having negative marking we have only for multiple choice questions. These NAT and MSQs are playing crucial because in numerical answer question, whatever answer you get, that can be filled up in that blank. So, you can say infinite number of choice for that. And in multiple select questions, the main problem is more than one correct answer may be there for that question. More than one correct answer. That means each and every option you need to check the correctness. That takes time. But however, for gate point of view, for 1 mark question you have 1.8 minutes of time, for 2 marks question 3.6 minutes of time is available. Anyway, online calculator is allowed for the calculations point of view, but be careful to avoid silly mistakes, be careful to read the data correctly and use the proper data in substitutions and getting the answer. And finally, be careful about units, that is very important for us, especially for theory subjects like transportation and all. You need formulae, empirical formulae to be rutted. You have to by heart it along with units, along with the proper requirement and specifications. You need to by heart it. And coming to the transportation engineering, you have coming to the transportation engineering, it is a subject with the high weightage. Around 10 marks, nothing but 10% of the total will come from this small subject. That is the main point of transportation. Especially the highest weightage subjects like the GT, after that environment, after that transportation. You can say that transportation is a easy subject. At the same time, it gives you good and easy preparation and easy to score type of questions will come here, because the syllabus is very less compared to GT and environment. And you can rely upon this subject, provided you need to practice on NAT and MSQs properly. And especially in transportation, especially on highway, complete geometric design is completely formula oriented. If you have good fundamentals of mechanics and good memory, there is a scope of 3 to 4 marks. Total is 10 marks, only geometric design 3 to 4 marks. You can use logic to solve the question sometimes. And coming to the pavement design, we have flexible pavement and rigid pavement design. In this, there is a scope of 1 to 3 marks. Mostly it is you need to remember few specifications of IRC codes, IRC 37, IRC 58 also. Apart from that, you need to go with the traffic engineering. If you are not very alert, it creates traffic jam in the examination hall. So, this may be around 3 to 5 marks, having slightly higher weightage most of the times. Coming to the highway material testing, 1 or 2 marks. Especially in material testing, Marshall mixed design method, be careful about it, and then you need to concentrate on aim, apparatus and specifications of each and every experiment of aggregate testing, bitumen testing. Now coming to the railway and airport, chance of 2 marks. Getting question both from railway and airport is a rare issue, but however you may get either a question in railway or question in airport. Maybe chance in 2026 to get a question in railway plus airport. We have only geometric design of railway and airport. Be concentrated on the requirement, especially in gate point of view. They'll ask you questions within the bound. That means they won't go out of the syllabus. So stick on to the syllabus, and my suggestion is go through the previous year questions and similar questions. Questions will not repeat in GATE exam, but concept will repeat. So similar questions will come in GATE exam. Not only this subject, in any subject you take, similar questions may repeat. That's why you have to go through the tapped areas where questions are getting repeated. Then after you get full of confidence, then you go to the very critical untapped areas. So first to focus on questions based upon the previous year GATE papers. So keep this point in mind. And GATE is graduate aptitude test. Few questions may come on the aptitude. That means with aptitude thinking, with engineering aptitude thinking, you can solve few questions. If time permits, try to solve such slightly critical level of questions with aptitude. Now we will start taking few questions of transportation. We will take mix of all the topics together. Randomly we will take so that even in paper we will get questions in a random manner. Okay, we will start with the questions of transportation. Mainly we will talk about numerical answers and multiple select questions. See this question. It is a directly multiple choice question. One multiple choice will start and go ahead. Read the question. CBR test load corresponding to 2.5 and 5 mm penetrations are given as 80 and 100 kg. They are asking you the CBR of soil in percentage. What is CBR in percentage? They are asking you. This is a memory oriented question where you need to remember the standard loading. So CBR at 2.5 mm settlement is nothing but load at 2.5 divided by standard load at 2.5 into 100. Load at 2.5 penetration is 80. Standard load at 2.5 mm, you need to remember it. It is 1370 kg into 100. So this may be 5.8%. And the same way CBR of 5, you calculate it. It is load at 5 mm settlement 100 kg divided by standard load is 2055 kg into 100. If you simplify with your online calculator, it is 4.8%. Use online calculator. Don't unnecessarily try to do it on your own and commit mistakes. If facility is given, use that. If you are writing exams like ESC prelims exam and other local exams, SSC JEE exam, there is no other go. You need to simplify on your own. If facility is given, then use that facility. Use online calculator in the simplification. Now CBR of the soil is generally CBR of 2.5 is more than CBR of 5, that you know. If CBR of 2.5 is more than CBR of 5, so CBR of 2.5 is CBR of soil. If CBR of 5 is more than CBR of 2.5, we need to repeat the experiment and after repetition whichever is higher is taken as the CBR of soil. So, presently no need of repetition and all. So, CBR of 2.5 is higher. So, this is CBR of soil. You can directly pick up the answer as 5.8%. So, this is a multiple choice question. The problem with the multiple choice question is there is there is negative marking of 1/3 for 1 mark question, 2/3 for 2 marks question. Now, see this question. This is from geometric design of vertical curves. Which of the following forms a valley curve? Valley is sag curve. Remember, for sag curve deflection angle is negative. For summit curve deflection angle is positive, and deflection angle is algebraic difference of the gradients, nothing but first gradient along with its own sign minus second gradient along with its own sign. Generally up we take it as positive, down we take it as negative. Give me which of the following are the valley curves. It is a multiple select question having more than one correct answer. Let us see how many of you giving me the right option. Murali is given correctly. Hari Krishna correct. Algebraic difference is the right option. So, upward gradient meeting downward gradient, this is a summit curve actually. So, this is not the correct answer. And coming to the next one, 1 in 20 and 1 in 20 upwards and 1 in 30 also upwards. So, the deflection angle here is plus 1 by 20 minus of plus 1 by 30. 1 by 20 is higher. You are dividing with the 20 means its value is higher compared to the value divided by 30. Higher value minus less value will be a positive value. Positive value means it is a summit curve. It is not a valley curve. No need of complete calculations. You can just check it up like this also. Now, Murali, Nova, please check up. B is not in your list. B should not be in your list. Now, coming to the option C, 1 in 30 up meets with 1 in 20. 1 in 30 is lesser value and 1 in 20 is a higher value. So, less value minus a higher value, the resultant will be negative. Negative means it is a valley curve. And it is a downward gradient meets a flat gradient, again we will get a valley curve. Even if you take algebraic difference plus 1 by 30, minus 1 by 30 and 0. So, resultant is minus only. Deflection angle is negative means valley curve. So, answers are C and D. It is not A and B. Okay, okay. D also, Hari Krishna. D is also a valley curve where deflection angle comes out to be negative. Okay, is it okay? Yes. We will move to the next. Look at this question. This is related to Marshall specimen of bituminous concrete mix. Using bituminous concrete tested in a lab and gave the following results. Maximum specific gravity of the mix. This is nothing but theoretical specific gravity of the mix. Maximum we will get it if you do not have air. So, this is theoretical specific gravity without air. Bulk specific gravity is a measured specific gravity. This is including air. Percentage weight of bitumen is given 5.5% by weight. Specific gravity of bitumen is also given 1.02. Assuming no absorption of bitumen, the voids in mineral aggregate and V of B values they are asking. So, it is also a multiple select question. There may be more than one correct answer here. So, VMA is 46.9, here also VMA is 19.45. That means any one of the options A and C may be correct. Similarly, V of B here, V of B here. Any one of the options B and D should be correct. For that we need to calculate the things. First what we do is we will calculate the air content, after that bitumen content, after that total voids in mineral aggregate is volume of air plus volume of bitumen. Then go for the voids filled with bitumen. Go by steps, takes time actually. Air content is nothing but GT minus GM by GT into 100. Calculate this. GT 2.52 minus 2.35 divided by theoretical 2.52 into 100. Next, volume of bitumen is GM by G of bitumen into percentage weight of bitumen. GM is given as 2.35, specific gravity of bitumen is given as 1.02, percentage weight of bitumen is 5.5%. Calculate this, and voids in mineral aggregate, percentage air content, percentage bitumen content. Calculate, and voids filled with bitumen is voids with bitumen and total voids in mineral aggregate into 100. Give me the answer. Let us see which options are correct. Murali, Nova. Rocky, give me answer. So, here there is a scope of committing mistakes in the calculations. Be careful about the calculations. And air content is 6.75%. Next, bitumen content is 12.7%. This one 12.7%. If you add them together, we will get voids in mineral aggregate. Air is 6.75 plus 12.7. It will be 19.45. That means 19.45. C is correct. America is wrong. Gone. America gone. Voids filled with bitumen. Bitumen content is 12.7. Total voids are 19.45 into 100. How much percentage of bitumen is there in the voids? 65.3. So, here this is gone, 50.4 is gone. Answers are 65.3. Answers are C and D. Be careful about such multiple select questions where more than one answer is there. Very good. Rocky is given correct answer. Satish given correct answer. Murali correct. Hari Krishna correct. Nova correct. Perfect. Okay. We'll move to the next question. A two-lane highway has a horizontal curve of radius 250 meter, two-lane road, n is equal to 2, radius is 250 meter, the design speed is 80 kmph, the wheelbase of the vehicle is 6.6 meter, calculate the total extra widening in meter rounded to 2 decimal places provided on the curve as per IRC recommendation. So, numerical answer question, be careful about this. Extra widening comprising of mechanical plus psychological widening, and mechanical widening is NL square by 2R, and psychological widening is V by 9.5 root R. This is for two-lane road. V by 9.5 root R is for two-lane road. So, for each lane divided with 2, if you have more number of lanes, multiply with n. So, for a 3-lane road, 3 by 2 of this, 2-lane road V by 9.5 root R, 4-lane road 4 by 2 into this. For single lane road, psychological widening is not required as per IRC, you require only mechanical widening. So, this point is to be added now in the present solving of the problems, n by t is to be added now. We will solve by simplification after substitution of the values. N is 2, length of rigid wheelbase 6.6 whole square by 2 into radius 250. Be careful here, this n by 2 is required in the present situation. Olden days people were not using, for whatever might be the number of lanes, people were using the psychological widening as V by 9.5 root R. Now, this is a must, n by 2 into this, because this is for two-lane roads. For multi-lane roads, this is to be distributed accordingly. That is what given in IRC. Okay. So, 2 by 2, design speed is given as 80 kmph, 9.5 root over 250 meter. Simplify this and give me the answer. I will check up the answer. In case n by 2 is not mentioned, you get wrong answer, Murali. If you are not using this, luckily for 2-lane road it may be okay. If it is 4-lane road, 6-lane road, you may miss the answer. If you look at the very old previous year gate questions, some 10 years back questions, even for 4-lane roads, only V by 9.5 root R people were using, that time no such discrepancy. But in the present IRC, present modified IRC, they have clearly mentioned that V by 9.5 root R is for 2-lane road. For any other multi-lane roads, this is to be distributed according to the number of lanes. That means, for 2 lanes this much, n number of lanes, n by 2 into V by 9.5 root R. For single lane roads, there is no need of psychological widening. So, what is the answer, Murali? So, if you take this rounded to 2 decimal places, 71 meter. Be careful, they are asking you extra widening only. Sometimes they will ask you what is the total width of the road. If they are asking you total width of the road, 2-lane road width is 7 meter, for each lane 3.5 meter, 2 lane 7 meter plus 0.71. So, it may be 7.71 meter is total width of the road on curve, but presently they are asking you extra widening. That is why I told you, I keep on telling you, read the question carefully. If you are not reading the question, then narrowly sometimes you may miss the answer. Okay, sometimes they will ask you extra widening, sometimes they will ask you total width of the road on curve along with extra widening. Okay. Next question. An automobile moving on a freeway at 100 kmph needs to reduce the speed to 60 kmph while shifting into an exit. The quotient of longitudinal friction between the rod and tire is 0.4. Braking distance they are asking you. Braking distance is given by initial speed square minus final speed square divided by 254 into longitudinal friction. Substitute and give me the answer. It is a straight away formula oriented numerical answer question. Murali, that previous question 0.706, if you round it to 2 decimal places, it becomes 0.71 meter. Rounding off as per the requirement is compulsory in GATE exam. So here 100 square minus 60 square by 0.4. So it is rounded to nearest integer. So it is 62.9 meter you are getting. If you round it to an integer, you need to round it to 63 meter. Be careful, it is to be rounded to 63 meter. Is it 63 or 67? Please check up. 63? Yes, 63 meter. Yes, 62.89 is 63. Murali, you are correct. But Sharath is giving 67. Be careful. If you are not concentratedly calculating the things, you may miss the answer. Okay. We will move to the next question, please. Which of the following statements are true? Multiple select question. The true statements you need to pick it up. Overturning outwards on horizontal curve occurs if the vehicle speed is lower than the design speed of the curve. If the speed of the vehicle is less than the design speed, overturning outwards will never occur. Very slow vehicles may overturn or skid inwards, not outwards. So this is pakka false statement. Now coming to the next one, ideal transition curve on a highway is spiral. On a highway, ideal transition is spiral, clothoid or Glover spiral, that you know. But ideal transition on railway is cubic parabola. Be careful. This is to be read carefully. On highway, transition curve is spiral. Sometimes they may ask you transition curve on a railway, that is cubic parabola. Grade compensation on a curve is required if the gradient comes along with a horizontal curve. True. If a gradient comes along a horizontal curve, the heavy vehicles may slow down. To overcome that loss of tractive force or pulling force, we need grade compensation. Intermediate side distance is twice the stopping side distance. No. Is it correct? Yes, yes, true. Intermediate side distance is twice the stopping side distance. Yes, it is a true. So what are the correct statements? B is correct, C is correct, D is correct. Is it okay? ISD is equal to twice of SSD. Headlight side distance is equal to SSD. Be careful about this. We will move to the next question. It is a numerical answer question. Try to give me the answer, please. Very good, Hari Krishna. Satish also correctly given answer to the previous question. Next question. The 15-minute peak hour factor is to be calculated based on the following table. The peak hour is 7 to 8 taken in 15-minute time slots. Among the 4 time slots, the highest is 400. The total is nothing but 140, 270, 190, 400. So peak hour factor is equal to total traffic flow during 1 hour divided by 4 into higher of the 4 values, 4 15-minute slot values. Give me the answer, please. Try to give me the right option, please. Q is the sum of 140, 270, 190 plus 400. Highest of the 4 slots is 400 again. So, this ratio is 0.625. Round to 3 decimal places they are asking. So, 625 is right option. Let us see how many are given the answer correctly. Array. Sharath, you are committing mistakes, lot of mistakes. He has given 0.165. You see, that is a mistake. Even though you know the concept, even though you know the procedure, even though you by-hearted formula, committing mistake in the calculation is a suicidal attempt. So, be careful, Sharath. You have to be very crucial. Speed is not important, save speed is important. Other people are correctly given 0.625. Satish given correctly, Nova correct. 3 decimal places. We will move to the next. In a rigid pavement, tie bars are used across longitudinal joint. Thickness of slab is 20 centimeter. Unit weight of concrete is 24 kilonewton per meter cube. Gamma of concrete is 24 kilonewton per meter cube. Quotient of friction between the slab and soil is 1.5. Allowable bond stress, design bond stress, directly you can take it. Tau BD is 2.5 megapascal. Diameter of tie bar used is 12 mm. Diameter phi is 12 mm. The minimum length of tie bar rounded to the nearest integer they are asking, numerical answer question. Allowable tensile strength of the steel, sigma st is given as 140. So, length of tie bar is taken in such a way that the tie bar should be embedded on both the sides of the pavement, on left side as well right side. On left part it should be a minimum embedment of development length, on righter part also minimum embedment of development length is required. So, total length of tie bar is 2 into development length. So, the development length is given by 5 into sigma st by 4 tau BD. Tau BD is design bond strength. Phi is diameter of steel bar taken as 12 mm. Take everything in mm and Newton units only. Sigma st 140 megapascal, nothing but Newton per mm square. Tau BD is also megapascal, 2.5 Newton per mm square. So, in this question, thickness of the pavement is extra data, not useful. Density of the pavement also extra data, not useful. Sometimes they will give you extra data to confuse the people. Be careful about such extra data. Without feeling tension, without facing pressure, you need to eliminate that extra data. Simplify and give me the answer. Let us see what is the answer given here. Murali 336 mm is given. Let us see one more answer and put it. Murali 336, will go by 336 mm. They are asking you to round it to nearest integer. Okay, perfect. 360 mm, 336 mm is right option. Shall we move to the next question? Only Murali is given the correct option. Nobody is given. Okay. Yes. Satish also given correct. Okay, we will go to the next question. Which of the following statements are true with respect to geometric design of highways? It is also multiple select question. Based upon geometric design of, not railways, highways they are asking. Read the question properly. First read on what basis they are creating the question. They are creating the question on geometric design of highway. The quotient of longitudinal friction is 0.15. Very sorry. Quotient of longitudinal friction is 0.35 to 0.4. Lateral friction is 0.15. So, statement A is false. But in multiple select question, you need to read all the options and identify which is correct and which is false. Next option, option B, maximum super elevation on hilly road as per IRC is 10%, right. Plain terrain, rolling terrain, snowbound hilly terrain, it is 7%, and normal hilly terrain, it is 10%, correct. The rate of change of centrifugal acceleration on a horizontal transition curve is 0.5 meter per second cube for a design speed of 100 kmph. That you need to check it up. So, capital C is 80 by 75 plus V. V is 100 kmph, 80 by 5 plus 100. What should be the value? You get it as 0.46, but the capital C should be between 0.5 to 0.8 meter per second cube. So, as the value is less than 0.5, you need to use C is equal to 0.5 meter per second cube. So, answer is the option C is true. Option C is true. Be careful. If you calculate 0.46, this is also required for us. Capital C should be 0.5 to 0.8 as per IRC. So, if you make it round, it becomes 0.5. Perception reaction time of driver in SSD is 2.5 seconds. Yes, this is also true. Please read the question carefully. In SSD, reaction time is 2.5. In OSD, if they are asking you, it is 2 seconds. Okay. So, the right options are, except A, all are right options, B, C, D. Okay. Any doubts? Already most of the people given this as answer. Hari Krishna given correct, Murali also given correct. All specifications you need to remember, Murali. Specifications are important for GATE exam. I told you so many times, specifications plus formulae are very important. And in case of empirical formulae like this, what is the unit of speed also important for us? The speed is capital V in kmph. C is rate of centrifugal acceleration is meter per second cube. Okay. Be careful. Units, specifications, formula you need to write to. Come to the next question. The speed and density curve is given below. What may be the flow and density relation? This is given to us. Sorry. This is given to us. Which option is correct for that? Any option please? Actually, Q is equal to kV. Up to here speed is constant. Speed is constant, only density is increasing. Density linearly increasing, speed is constant. Q should also linearly increase. So, from here to here, Q should also linearly increase. With that only one option, Q should also V constant, K increasing. With that one option, you can pick up the answer as option A directly. Okay. Because it is starting with some V, say V is 20, everywhere it is 20 only. V is not changing. With the K it is changing. Okay. Say for example, K is 0, I think this is wrong, very sorry, be careful. So, if the values are increasing here, k values are increasing here, q should also increase. If k is 0, k is 0, k is 0, q should also 0. If q is increasing, sorry, k is increasing, q should also increase in the same manner. So, the answer should be linear in the first zone. It should be linear. This is the first option to be eliminated. Okay. If k is increasing, if k 0, q also 0, k 0, q also 0, k is 1, q also 1, k 2, q also 2, like that with 0 it increases. Okay. K 30, q 30, 30 into v, v is a constant. Now, come to here, there is a sudden drawdown of speed, there is decrease of speed. So, if you observe here, speed is suddenly decreased means q should also decrease in the same manner. But if you observe here, there is a drastic reduction of q, but here the reduction is not that drastic, it is gradual. So, this is ruled out, and here it is linearly decreasing. Linearly decreasing is not possible because here speed is changing, k also changing. The main process is, as there is gradual reduction of the values, this is the right option. So, answer is option C. Logically, you need to pick up the answers. Logically, you need to pick up the answers. Okay, please. Any doubts here, please? Okay. Option Delhi is not correct because this is linear and here also linear. So, if you have variation of k as well v, k is changing, v is changing, that must be q should be with the power 1 and 1, this should be power 2. As there is gradual reduction of v here, there may be gradual reduction of q also. This is right option. This is impossible. Among the two there may be tug of war, but there is a sudden decrease here, very sudden decrease of q, that is not possible with gradual decrease of v. Okay, logically you need to eliminate. Any doubts, please? You have a doubt between B and C. Satish, here there is a sudden decrease, you see, there is a sudden decrease, but here such a sudden decrease is not there in speed, gradually decreasing, density is increasing, speed is gradually decreasing. So, this is the right option, this is not the correct option because of sudden change, sudden decrease. Okay, Satish, we will move to the next question. Try this question, this is based upon the overtaking side distance, please. Car A follows car B at a speed of 20 meter per second. Car A following car B means slow vehicle speed is 20 meter per second. The driver of car A accelerates at 1 meter per second square to overtake car B. The acceleration is given 1 meter per second square. The distance between the two cars before and after overtaking is 20 meter. S1 is equal to S2 is equal to S is equal to 20 meter. The distance travelled by car A during the time of acceleration from just before changing the lane till it comes back to the original lane. They are asking you what is the acceleration distance, nothing but the d2 distance. The d2 distance, if you remember the formula, it is S1 plus Vb into overtaking time capital T and S2. And overtaking time capital T is 2 into distance between the two cars before overtaking, distance between the two cars after overtaking by A. So, 2 into S1 is equal to S2 is equal to 20. Forty plus 2 is 80. 80 root. 80 root may be 8.9 seconds. Use calculator, don't unnecessarily simplify on your own. Use calculator, 80 root is 8.9. Now, what about our D2? D2 will be 218.89. Round to 2 decimal places. S1 is 20, VB is given as 20, capital T you are taking this as 8.9 and S2 is also 20. Substitute 218.89. Is it correct? Yes, Murali given correctly. Manoj, is it okay? Yes. Right option. Now come to this question. Which of the following statements are true with respect to warping stresses, rigid pavement warping stresses and frictional stresses also? Read it and tell me the correct option, please. There may be a chance of theory question on warping and frictional stresses, theory type of questions even in GATE exam. Be careful about these questions. During night time, warping stress is maximum at edge condition and which creates a tension on the bottom. Actually, during night time, the pavement warps like this. During night time, top temperature is less than the bottom temperature. Pavement tries to warp like this, but self weight tries to push it back to the position. So, because of that, edge is in contact with the soil. So, no chance of stress at the edge. As corner is lifted up, there may be chance of tension on the top fiber of the corner. There may be tension on the top fiber of the corner. So, during night time, warping stress is maximum at edge region is a false statement. Be careful about such questions. Now, coming to Q, during daytime, warping stress is maximum at edge, which creates tension on the bottom surface of the concrete. During daytime, pavement warps like this. It is under hogging condition. It is free to warp if there is no self weight, but if the self weight is also applied, then what happens is the edges are in touch, the corners are in touch with the soil, no stress at corner, but edge is lifted up. Because of lifted edge and self weight pressing back to the position, there will be tension on the bottom of the edge region. So, during daytime, there will be tension on the bottom of the edge region. During night time, there will be tension on the top of the corner region. These points you need to remember in a logical manner. What about statement 2? Statement Q. During daytime, warping stress is maximum at edge, which creates tension on bottom surface of the concrete. This is true. Daytime, bottom of the edge you have the crack. Night time, top of the corner you have tension. During winter, frictional stress is maximum at edge, which creates tension across the slab. During winter season, pavement wants to contract, soil below the pavement pulls it back to the position. Because of pulling back to the position, we have tension, and that tension will come at the edge region. It creates a tension at the edge region during winter. Summer, it is under compression. So, R is true statement, Q also true statement. Answer is option B, you can choose. Okay. Anybody given this answer correctly? Very good. Satish correct. Murali correct. Try this next question. Is a very commonly asked question from linear speed density relation by Greenshield. Only if this point is given, use the capacity of the road as the maximum density by 2 and maximum speed by 2 is equal to capacity. The space headway at jam condition is 10 meter. So, jam density or maximum density is given by 1000 by S, nothing but 1000 by 10, nothing but 100 vehicles in kilometer, length is K max. Now, substitute K max is 100 by 2, maximum speed is given as 80. So, 80 by 2 into 100 by 2. What is the right option? Two 2000, 50 into 40, 2000 vehicle per hour. Greenshield method is very important for GATE exam. You can calculate the capacity of road or capacity of a lane by using this formula if linear speed density is mentioned in the question or Greenshield is mentioned in the question. Otherwise, you can't use this formula, please. Very important for GATE. Try this question. During summer midday at edge region, the rigid pavement encounters a wheel load stress of 1.2 meter, frictional stress 0.2 meter, warping stress 0.5 meter. The critical combination of stress in the above period means summer midday period. Summer midday period resultant stress is equal to stress due to wheel load plus stress due to warping. Friction is negative. Negative says that it is compression. Positive says that it is tension. So, it's very simple question. Wheel load stress is 1.2, warping stress is 0.5, frictional stress is 0.2. What is the answer? 0.3 plus 1.2 is 1.5 megapascal. Round to 1 decimal place. It is 1.5 megapascal, you need to put it there. Be careful such questions. All the combinations, critical combination of stresses you need to remember logically. Remember, wheel load stress and warping stresses must be added together always in all the combination. In winter, friction is to be taken plus takes a tensile stress. In summer, you need to take minus. That's all. In all the combinations, wheel load stress, warping to be added together. Summer, warping stress is taken, frictional stress is taken negative. Negative means compression. In winter, you need to take the frictional stress as positive. Positive means tension. So, these are all tensile stresses. Tension causes crack to the pavement. Okay. Most of the questions, most of the answers. Murali given correctly, Manoj given correctly, Hari Krishna given correctly. Perfect. Okay, Murali. Try this question. This is from airport. Length corrections are very important for airport. The length of flat runway without gradient is 2500. Flat runway without gradient. No gradient correction is required. and the runway is at mean sea level means no elevation correction is required. You need only temperature correction. Actually, you need to do the sequential corrections, first elevation, temperature and gradient, but here elevation correction 0, gradient correction also 0 because it is a flat gradient. Only temperature gradient is to be calculated. So, the length of runway after all corrections is nothing but length only after temperature correction. So, consider only temperature correction. Standard airport temperature at mean sea level, you are constructing the runway at mean sea level only, is 15 degrees centigrade. Airport reference temperature is 20 degrees centigrade. The rise in temperature is ART minus SCAT, 20 minus 15. ART minus SCAT is the rise in temperature, that is 5 degrees centigrade. What ICAO says is, for every 1 degree rise in temperature, increase length by 1%. Now, for 5 degrees rise in temperature, increase length by 5%. So, for rise is equal to 5 degrees centigrade, increase length by 5%. So, final length is equal to initial length plus 5% increase. Initial length is 2500, 5% increase means multiply with 1.05, 2625. Rounded to integer 2625. Murali, perfect. That's what required, Murali. Be careful, no elevation correction, no gradient correction. Temperature correction is that final correction we need to use. Okay. See this question. A similar question was asked in GATE exam for 2 marks based upon the expansion factors. I know only one day traffic, I want AADT based upon the expansion factor. Simple, straightforward. Somebody give me answer without any explanation. After you print your answer here, I will check up and I will explain. Very good, Murali. Murali given. Okay. So, AADT is given by all expansion factors you multiply. Monthly expansion factor into daily expansion factor into the traffic on one particular day, 4000. Monthly expansion factor 1.12, daily expansion factor is 0.98 into 4000. This gives you the resultant answer as 4391 PCU per day. AADT is 4391 PCU per day. If proper data is not available to calculate the AADT, you can calculate AADT just based upon one day traffic by expansion factors like this. Okay. Any doubts? We will move to the next question. Try this. Which one of the following statements are true with respect to aggregate testing on roads? Important for us. It is a theoretical multiple select question. Let us see how many of you give me correct option. Read it once. Aggregate impact value is calculated based on soundness test. No. Aggregate impact value is based upon aggregate crushing test, based upon the impact on the aggregate. Aggregate crushing value test. Aggregate crushing value is calculated based on sieve analysis. Perfectly wrong. Aggregate crushing value is based upon gradual loading na crushing test. Aggregate impact value is based upon impact test. Aggregate crushing value is based upon the crushing value test. Aggregate impact is based upon sudden loading, crushing value is based upon this gradual loading. Now coming to option C. Flakiness index is used to determine percentage of particles whose least dimension is less than 0.6 of average dimension. Perfect. If the thickness of a particular aggregate particle less than 60% or 0.6 of average size, we call it as patla or flaky aggregate that may break away easily. Now coming to the option D, hardness of road aggregate can be determined by Los Angeles aberration test. It is also perfectly true. So correct answers are, only one correct answer is there. No, this is also true, na? Correct answers are C and D. Any doubts? Already given. Answers are given. Very good, very good. Satish given correctly. Murali given correctly. Sharath given correctly. Okay. Try this question. In two-phase signal as shown in figure, slightly critical question. Saturation flow for each lane is 800 vehicle per hour based upon the Webster's method. Important question for us. So saturation flow for each lane is 800 vehicle per lane, vehicle per hour per lane. Last time per phase is 6 seconds. Is a two-phase signaling system. Free left is allowed at all the sections. Free left means this vehicle is allowed to go freely without any signal. This is allowed to go to the left freely without signal. Free left is allowed. Only you require a signal for straight going traffic. They are asking you cycle time as per Webster's method, they are asking, rounded to nearest integer. So total last time per cycle is given by, for one phase 6 seconds, you have like that two phases are there. Total last time per cycle is 6 into 2, 12 seconds. 12 seconds per cycle. Capital L is last time per cycle. Saturation flow for each lane is 800 vehicle per hour, any lane. Now coming to north-south, which is the critical. Critical means this is 150 going to the south, 200 going to the north. North-south phase 200 is critical. Q north-south is 200. Higher of the two values. East-west critical is 200 here, 150 here. Q east-west also 200 vehicle per hour is critical. Now coming to the constant y of north-south plus y of east-west. Two phases are there, na? North-south is 200. By saturation flow 800 and east-west also 200 by 800. Nothing but 400 by 800. 400 by 800 is half. Cycle length or cycle time is 1.5 L plus 5 divided by 1 minus y. This formula you need to by heart, otherwise you can't solve the problem. Length last time is 12 seconds plus 5, 1 minus 1 by 2. 1 minus 1 by 2 is half. So this is 18 plus 5, 1 minus 1 by 2, the 2 will come on to the numerator. Give me the answer. Samir 64, again you see, at high speed we will commit mistakes, go by design speed. Samir says the cycle length is 64. In place of 46, it is 64 given. But Satish given correct answer, Murali given correct answer, Harsh, Sharath, Vasu are given correct answers. But Samir, in place of 46 seconds, you have given 64. That is a mistake. In survey, you come across the mistakes. Na? Try to avoid the mistakes. For that, go by design speed. Don't go by express speeds in the exam hall. Any doubts here? Vasu, correct. Now, we will go to the last question. In fixing of length of runway, accelerate stop distance available is equal to, while fixing length of available lengths of runway, acceleration and stop distance is given by, you know that accelerate and stop distances, go by process of elimination, take off run available plus stop way. Memory oriented 1 mark question, it is a multiple choice question. Acceleration stop distance is equal to take off run available plus stop way or safe way. So, answer is option B. We will stop here. We have taken a few critical areas where questions are coming very regularly in GATE exam. Especially we are focusing on multiple select and numerical answer questions. So, you have to be very careful. My suggestion is go through the previous year questions and similar questions you practice it, so that you will get 60 to 70% of marks with that. To get more than that, beyond that, you need to tap the untapped areas and then prepare rigorously. My suggestion is try to avoid mistakes, try to avoid missing the units. For that, you need to concentrate upon units. They may ask you some units, you may get some other units while solving. So, try to substitute the appropriately correct unit, and by heart formulae, empirical formulae mainly, and specifications in a transportation. Hardly you may get one theory question out of all from transportation. Even though it is a theory subject, you will get hardly one question, maybe 1 or 2 marks question. Maximum 1 mark question will come. So, with concentration and dedication, with design speed, you go ahead to get the maximum committed marks. I wish you all the best. Do well. Thank you very much for sparing your time. I wish you great success in future, flying colors in the next coming year. Thank you very much. I will stop. Thank you so much for your patience listening. All the best.